হরে। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম রে। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Namaste. Namaste.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's a recording of a class given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in October 2nd, 1976 in Vrindavan. This is from Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 41 and 42. And we request that you kick up your volume for your listening devices. Sometimes the recording is a little low in volume. Okay, without further ado, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna.
Translation. After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer, Sri Krishna, entrusted the murderer unto his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. Tata, thus, Akritam, brought in, Pashuvat, like an animal, Pashabadham, tied up with ropes, Avanmukam, without a word in his mouth, Karma, activities, Jugupsitena, being heinous, Niriksha, by seeing, Krishna, Draupadi, Apakritam, the doer of the degrading, Guru, the teacher, Sutam, son, Vama, beautiful, Svabhava, nature, Kripaya, out of compassion, Namama, offered obeisances, Cha, and. Translation. Sri Suta Goswami said, Draupadi then saw Ashvatthama, who was bound with ropes like an animal, and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature, and due to her being naturally good and well-behaved, she showed him due respects as a Brahmana. Purport. The transcendental relation of Arjuna with Krishna is of the dearmost friendship. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself has claimed Arjuna as his dearmost friend. Every living being is thus related with the Supreme Lord by some sort of affectionate relation, either as servant, or as friend, or as parent, or as an object of conjugal love. Everyone thus can enjoy the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm, if one at all desires and sincerely tries for it by the process of bhakti yoga. Ashwatthama was condemned by the Lord himself, and he was treated by Arjuna just like a culprit, not like the son of a Brahmana or teacher. But when he was brought before Srimati Draupadi, she, although aggrieved for the murder of her sons, and although the murderer was present before her, could not withdraw the due respect generally offered to a Brahmana or to the son of a Brahmana. This is due to her mild nature as a woman. the woman as a class is no better than a boy, and therefore they have no discriminatory power like a man. Ashwatthama proved himself to be an unworthy son of Dronacharya, or of a Brahmana, and for this reason he was condemned by the greatest authority, Lord Shri Krishna. And yet, a mild woman could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a Brahmana. Even to date, in a Hindu family, a woman shows proper respect to the Brahmana caste, however fallen and heinous a Brahmabandhu may be. But the men have begun to protest against Brahmabandhus who are born in families of good Brahmanas, but by action are less than Shudras. The specific word used in this shloka is Vamasvabhava, mild and gentle by nature. A good man or woman accepts anything very easily, but a man of average intelligence does not do so. But anyway, we should not give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. One must have good discriminatory power to judge a thing on its merits. We should not follow the mild nature of a woman and thereby accept that which is not genuine. Ashwatthama may be respected by a good-natured woman, but that does not mean he is as good as a genuine Brahmana.
Gatahutam Pasubat Pasabadhyam Abana Mudam Karma Judupsitena Niriksha Krishna Apa Kritam Guru Sutam Bamas Savhava Kripaya Nana. So, this is already explained in the part that woman's nature is very mild and man's nature very strong. That is the difference. Therefore, according to Vedic civilization, the woman must be protected because they are very simple. They can be led to goodness also very easily, and they can be polluted also very easily. By nature, they are very simple. Therefore Shastra says that just like child, if you mold the character of a child from the very beginning, then he can become a great man. Similarly, if you train woman from the very beginning how to become chaste and faithful to the husband, they can become very good mother, very good asset in the family. So there is sufficient information in the Vedic literature how a man should be trained up, a boy should be trained up, a girl should be trained up, so that in future they may become happy. The ultimate aim of life is how to become connected with Krishna. That is the ultimate. Athata Brahma Jigyasa. If I say to anybody that your ultimate goal of life is to understand Krishna or Vishnu, naturally there will be enquiries. Who is Krishna? What is Krishna? What does he do? So many questions. That question is recommended in the Vedanta Sutra, Athatha Brahma Jigyasa. That is life. So, the boys and girls should be trained up how to inquire about the ultimate goal of life, Krishna or Vishnu. That they do not know in the modern civilization, that they do not. Not merely in the modern civilization, in the past also, those who are entrapped by the modes of material nature, ahankara vimurātma, the material conception of life, false ego, ahankara. This is called ahankara there is. But when we are in a false ahankara, that is our cause of all trouble, miseries. Ahankara, if we become entrapped in false ahankara, then we are vimurātma, entrapped by nature. That is a difficulty. So, what is that false ahankara? The false ahankara is that I am this body. This is false ahankara. I am this body, I am Indian, I am American, I am Brahmana, I am Kshatriya, I am Sannyasi, I am Brahmachari, and so on, so on, so on, so on. All designation of this body. This is false ahankara. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us how to become free from the false ahankara. He said that nahang vipra na jyotitva. I am not a Brahmin, I am not a sannyasi, I am not a grihastha, I am not a vanaprastha, I am not this, I am not that. All material designation he refused. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Even if I am very much proud of becoming a Brahmin, or I become very much proud of becoming a sannyasi, that is the highest stage of human status, to become Brahmana or sannyasi. Sannyasi is supposed to be the guru of everyone. There are 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, Brahman, and Kshatriya. And in the spiritual order, the sannyasi is guru of all, even of the Brahman. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that I am neither Brahmana nor sannyasi. He refused. Nahang vipana chanarapati, na jyotirva. Jyoti means sannyasi. So he refused. That this is false. Even if you become very much proud that you are a very learned Brahmin or very advanced sannyasi, that is not your freedom. You are not yet liberated. You are still in conditional life. Then when you become liberated, that is stated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopi Bhattu Padakamale Udasa Dasanudasa. This is liberation. Gopi Bhattu, the maintainer of the gopis, Gopijana Vallabha. Krishna's business is how to please the gopis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Jasodanandana, Brajajana Ranjan. that the Vrindavanvasi, they have no other business than to love Krishna. Similarly, Krishna has no other business than to please the gopis and the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Gopijana Vallabha. So, how? Why Krishna is so much attached to Vrindavanvasi? As soon as there was some difficulty, we read it from Bhagavatam. As soon as there is some fire, the Vrindavanvasi, they do not know anyone but Krishna. And Krishna devours the fire. As soon as there is torrents of rain, Vrindavan was going to be overflooded. Krishna immediately came to the rescue and lifted the Govardhan hill. Come underneath. That is Gopijana Vallabha. They do not know anything. They do not know even that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But they do not like to love anybody than Krishna. This is their only goal. They did not love Krishna, understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parabrahma Paramadham. They did not know this. But they did not like to love even Vishnu than Krishna. That is their qualification. Gopijana Vallabha. So, when we come to that state, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, the Gopi Bhaktu Padakamalayo, he is also bringing the reference of the Gopi. Because Krishna is completely under gopis. He is so much indebted to the gopis that he said that I cannot repay your debts. It is not possible. Krishna, the all-powerful, all opulences, but he had no means to repay the debts of the gopis. This is the position of the gopi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends, Ramma Kachid Upasana Brajavadhu Varga Bija Kalpita. There is no other better shape of worshipping Krishna than it was planned by the gopis. Ramma Kachid Upasana Brajavadhu Varga Bija Kalpita. This is the highest. In the same way, he says, Gopi Bhattu Padakamalu Das, Gopijana Vallabha. Gopijana Vallabha is Krishna. Padakamalu, one who has taken shelter. Don't try to become gopis. No. Rather, try to become the dust of the lotus feet of the gopi. Gopi Bhattu Padakamalu Das Dasan. Just like Uddhava. Uddhava wanted to become one grass in Vrindavan because the gopis will trample over it. This is highest perfection. So, liberation. Liberation means Gopi Bhattu Padakamalu Dasu Dasu Dasanu Dasu. The more you become servant of the servant of Vaishnava, then you are perfect. That is perfect. Our the Vedic injunction is just try to understand yourself, aham brahmasmi, that is a fact. But if I simply try to become aham brahmasmi without knowing the full philosophy, then I shall be fallen again that I am equal to God. Aham brahmasmi means I am the Supreme God, as the Mayavadis they think. That Liberation means I become one with God. No. That is not your position. You cannot do. That is another Maya. That is the last dictation of Maya. Why you shall become the servant of Gopi Bharta? You become God. That is Maya. That is the last layer of Maya. Therefore they fall down. Arucha krichena parang padang tata patanti adha anadita jusmadangraya anadita. With great austerity, penances and vairagya, they can go up to the Parampadam. Parampadam means Brahma. Nirvishesh Brahma. Not in the material existence, but in the spiritual existence. Arucha, they can rise up to that. Aham Brahmasmi. To understand that I am not this matter, I am Brahma. But unless one takes shelter of the Gopi Bhattu Padakarma Dasada, he will fall down. Arujya krichena parang padang tata patanti adha. Why? Anadita jusmat angraya. Because one does not know, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, that Gopi Bhattu Padakamalo Dasa Dasanu Dasa. He falls. He is no shelter. Anadita jusmat angraya. So we must always remember that if we want to be recognized by Krishna, if we want to become inhabitants of Vrindavan, then we must take this lesson given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopi Bhakti Padakamalyo Dasa Dasanu Das. So, to endeavor to become gopis, that is also Mayavad. That I shall become gopi. No. You have to become the servant of the servant of the servant of gopis. That is, otherwise the same ahankar, ahankaro vimuratma, kartaham iti mannati, then again will be misled. This is material disease. Everyone is full of some ahankar. I am this, I am this, I am Brahman, I am Sannyasi, I am Lord, I am this, and so many things. So long this mentality will continue, then that is Maya. Ahankara vimuratma kartaham iti mannati. Actually, he is not that position. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches from the very beginning, Jiver Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. Unless you come to that point, that eternal servant of Krishna, that is real knowledge. This knowledge is achieved Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Ante means at the end of many, many births, endeavor. Jnanava, not foolish rascals, but Jnanava. Then, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan Manga Prabhupada. This Gopi Bhattu Padakamalu Dasudana. After many, many births. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches from this point that you are Das. Give up this idea that you are independent master or one with God or so many rascal ideas. That is not good. You should begin with this point. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, that Jiver Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches from the point when Bhagavad Gita ends. Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. This is the relationship. We are trying to become master here, everyone. Krishna says, you give up this idea. You are planning so many things to become master of the world. I am the monarch of all I serve. Give up this idea. Then you will be in proper position. Sarvadharman paritam. Mamekam, that means I am master. If we want to be peaceful, then accept this proposition that I am master, you are servant. Therefore Jamunacharya said, Kadaham aikantika nitta kinkara praharsayishami sanatha jivita. I have troubled myself in so many lives. Therefore, bhavantameva charan nirantaram prasanta nishesha manoratham. He is praying, my Lord, when I shall be constantly your servant. Bhavantameva charan nirantaram. Nirantaram means always. Prasanta nishesha manoratham. We are being contacted by the mental speculation. So, completely shant. No more mental speculation. Bhavantameva charan nirantaram prasanta nishesha manoratham kodaham aikantika nitta kinkara. When I shall become the most attentive servant, aikant, no other business. Kodaham aikantika nitta praharsayisha, I shall become englad. Praharsayisha. He sanatha jivita, sanatha. Those who are not Krishna conscious, they are anatha. Anatha, just you know, anatha. Anatha means no father, mother, no protection. That is called anatha. And he is aspiring to become sanatha. Sanatha means, yes, I have got my protector. Krishna will protect me. Rakhishyati iti vishwasa palanam. Yes, I am surrendered to Krishna and he will give me protection. This is surrender. Saranagati means, this is one of the items of Saranagati, that I have surrendered to Krishna fully. So Krishna says, Aham tva sarva papebhya mokshishyami. Then I am fully protected. He will give me protection to believe in this word of Krishna. That is fully surrender. So, it is not theoretical, practical. Just like in our Krishna consciousness movement, even in America, they inquire, these our devotees, how is that you do not work? You simply dance and you get big, big buildings and you have got so many cars and you eat nicely. They are surprised. Why surprising? Sanatha jivita. We are under Krishna's protection. Why shall I live poorly? No. Krishna's servant must have the whole opulence. Because sanatha jivita. This is Krishna consciousness. So don't forget this philosophy. If you surrender fully to Krishna, and Krishna is always anxious, Gopijana Vallaha, Brajajana Ranjana. So, to love Krishna, to be fully under Krishna's control, that is Gopijana Vallaha, that is Gopijana. And he is always anxious. Sanatha jivita. In all respect, you simply remain under the control of Krishna, fully under the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, then all happiness will be available without any endeavor. That is sarupena avasthiti. That is called mukti. Mukti means to live in this condition that I am Krishna's eternal servant. He will give me all protection. My only business is to carry out his order. This is called mukti. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So another wonderful class by Srila Prabhupada. So dear devotees, this is the time to unmute yourself if you have comments, questions, or takeaways from this wonderful class. So if you're ready, please unmute yourself and we can have some Krishna Katha. Hare Krishna. Anyone?
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Srila Prabhupada.
Satnam,
I don't know what to say because this is a slap. I mean, all I just kept saying is whoa, wow, and I mean, I've heard so many devotees ask questions of me, and what is my swarup in Goloka Vrindavan? Am I a gopi? Am I a gopal? Am I Radharani's right? All kinds of stuff. And the only answer that I was told and I shared with them is we are the servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of the gopis and Radharani. But here Srila Prabhupada is saying we cannot even aspire, not only should we aspire to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis, but to be aspiring for the dust of the gopis so that, we get the mercy. So, I mean, not only, to actually aspire for the dust, so, to be the dust so that, we can be walked upon by the gopis, it actually shows our actual position that we are nothing but a straw on the street, just as it's stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shastakam prayers, straw in the street. And that's exactly what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us, that we should come to that level, like way, 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 way down, way down. And I mean, yeah. And then Srila Prabhupada said, to even think that we are a gopi in Goloka Vrindavan is a Mayavadi. So, I mean, this is a very powerful lecture that, I mean, if we don't get this and we still think that we are something, then something is wrong. But yeah, I mean, this is a powerful. This says it all. This lecture, I think, puts it in summary how low of a servant we should be. Servant, down to ground level, literally down to ground level, and to aspire to be the dust of the gopis, and to aspire to be the servants of the Lord's devotees. Very, very low. Amazing lecture. Thank you. I mean, I'm really like, wow. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it is quite, if you think about it deeply, it is mind-blowing. Srila Prabhupada really, really, really preached in so many words the humble position that we should really be aspiring to get to. In other lectures, he said we should be servant of a servant of a servant, servant, 1,000 times servant. The further down we think ourselves as servants, the better we will be, even the happier that we will be. So yes, this is very, 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 very important that we don't think ourselves that we are at the level of the gopis. No, we take the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. Servant of the servants, the servants of the gopis. Gopi Bhatu Patakamala Das Andas. The gopis. That's what Lord Chaitanya is saying. We should look at ourselves as the servant, being at the feet of the gopis. That humility will in fact make us happy. And then mukti is there too, liberation. So carry out Srila Prabhupada's order, which is Krishna's order, and they will become Krishna's eternal servant. Hare Krishna. Any other comments? There's so much here about how we should be connected with Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Please unmute yourself if you have some comments here, if you have a question to ask, or a takeaway to share with everybody. Hare Krishna.
See, not, no, I, not,
Mhm.
I'm speechless. This is really a powerful class because it is a self-check on our ego. It's a self-check on our ego, because, human nature, right? We are all trying to be the Lord of the Lord, master of the master. Human ego as well. I can still push my way through. Well, I can still say this way. I can still be the controller here or there. But here, Srila Prabhupada is saying, in fact, Srila Prabhupada is really reminding us that not only should we cannot even aspire or think to be the gopis because that's Mayavadi, as he says, servant of the servant. But he even used the example of Uddhava, right? That we have to be to come down to the level of to aspire to be the dust. So I'm thinking, geez. So some of us might think, oh, then probably I can be the peacock or the cow. Or so no, we cannot even go and think and fantasize. So Srila Prabhupada is saying is we should bring ourselves to that extent of the dust. Forget a cow, forget being Surabhi, forget being a peacock, forget being Dadi Loba, the monkey, forget being a parrot. Dust. Servant of the servant of the servant. So for me, what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that to that extent, we have to clean our minds and our hearts. To that extent, we have to clean our minds and our hearts and our consciousness to that extent. It's really deep. It's really deep. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very, 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 very important. The whole point of this lecture is to put ourselves as low as possible compared to the gopis, compared to the pure devotees of the Lord. Being servant of a servant is where we're going to get the type of happiness that we're endeavoring for. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to share? Please unmute yourself and share. In the meantime, I'll share some of the things, like takeaways from this. Srila Prabhupada, the texts themselves talked about how Ashwatthama was bound up by Arjuna and handed over to Draupadi. But Draupadi Draupadi offered respects to Ashwatthama because he was the son of a Brahmin. So then Sri Prabhupada says, that's the nature of woman. Woman is mild, man is strong. So women must be protected. They can easily be led to goodness or they can be polluted also very easily. So if women are trained right from the beginning to be chaste and faithful to the husband, then they will be a good asset to the family. Boys and girls should be trained to inquire about the ultimate goal of life. And the modern civilization is not doing this. And modern civilization is giving us bodily designations. There's so many troubles in the world is based on the bodily designation. But Lord Chaitanya says, I'm not a Brahma, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a sannyasi. So then Srila Prabhupada says, even if someone is proud of being a very learned Brahmana, that's not liberation. That's still a problem for that person. Because Lord Chaitanya says, I'm not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, but what I use is Gopi Bhatu Padakamalayo Dasu Dasu Anudas. I am the servant of the servants of the servant of the gopis. So the business of a resident of Vrindavan, the gopis, is to love Krishna. They don't even relate to Vishnu. Krishna, two-handed Krishna. And Krishna is Gopi Janavalabha. So we are not to think that we are the level of the gopis, not even that, even though they are servants of Krishna. We should take the dust of the feet of the gopis. The more we become servant of a servant, then the perfection is there, Srila Prabhupada says. There's actually very, very important information and a very, very important thing to note that the more we become servants of the servants, then the perfection is there. So how do we apply that practically? In our temples, we also should be servant to the devotees. The devotees are servant to the spiritual master, who is a servant of his spiritual master. So if we become servant for the devotees, that is, be there to assist them in whatever thing that needs to get done, cooperate with them, make sure we do not offend anyone, then we are actually acting as servants. And the farther down servants we go, the better off we are. The happier we become. And Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada says, actually, Srila Prabhupada says the last snare of Maya is the Mayavadi thought. People who think that they become God. In that way, we fall down. So then he stressed that if we also try to become gopis, that's also Maya. We should be eternal servants of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches from when the Bhagavad Gita ends. Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvadhaman Parityaja, that is by chapter 18, text 66. Mamekam Sharanam Bhaja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papi Vimokshayi Shamimascha. Abandon varieties of religion. Krishna says, surrender. Surrender to become a servant. So this is some of the things that I picked up from the lecture. If anyone wants to contribute more, please unmute yourself and share, or even ask questions if you have questions to ask. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Another thing that's coming to my mind is, being the servants of the Lord. Servants, actually, das, anudas, right? Servants of the Lord. And here Srila Prabhupada is saying, we have to aspire as low as being the dust. I was thinking, wow, then we have to really speak the language of being a servant, not of master, because we have been so conditioned with false ego, to speak the language of who are you to question me? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? I am the master, blah, blah, blah. So now Srila Prabhupada is helping us to see, okay, we are the servants. That should be our mood. Thus, down as Lord Chaitanya said, lower than the straw. I mean, this is interesting. Lower than the straw in the street. I don't know what is lower than the straw. Well, I guess lower than the straw in the street is the dust, right?
Well, it's all part of it.
Yeah, right.
The dust and the straw are mixed in.
Yeah. So which means we have to learn to speak the language of a servant. We have to learn to communicate with each other in the mood of a servant. We have to learn the words and the grammar and the whatever of a servant. Whoa. This is definitely a lecture that I think I highly encourage everybody to read it over and over again, to really read between the lines of Srila Prabhupada. And the message, there's a message in every single line that Srila Prabhupada is helping us to check. It is almost like questioning ourselves. Okay, we have become devotees of we have joined the ISKCON movement, and, and we are, disciples of, our spiritual master. But now you have to, you can't even aspire to be what you have to aspire to be, das, down to the dust. Are you ready for that? The self-check. So this is definitely a rude awakening, I feel, what does it mean to be a servant? I think that's what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us, is how to be a servant. What does it mean to be a servant of the Lord and the gopis and the manjaris and so on and so forth? What does it mean to be a servant? So on all levels, on all levels, not just acting it out, but really imbibing the mood of being a servant. Very, very deep class, very deep class. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada also stressed that if you're a servant of the servant, you simply remain under the control of Krishna, which is the same as saying surrendering to Krishna also. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita 1866, he quoted that too, that we should surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any more comments? Takeaways?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice points. Yes, I was thinking on the point like a servant of the servant. I'm thinking how one can be be in that state of mind or in that mode. I was thinking, unless we imbibe the love of the Lord and go deep in our sadhana, we're not able to do that artificially. The focus has to be on the sadhana. Sadhana will bring the condition of servant of the servant. If you try to just focus on that point, that's like a wrong way to go. The right way will be bring the love of the Lord, and that will soften the one's heart. That will bring one to the level of servant of the servant. But if you artificially try to boast, that will not work. That's what the point I was thinking of.
Very good analysis. Thank you very much. Very, very, very good analysis. So our sadhana is very important. If we take our sadhana seriously and do the sadhana, the hearing, the chanting, and the serving, the way we've been instructed to do, that alone shows that we are submitted to the process. Because the process came with directions. If you follow the directions, then you are in line with the process. So be the servant of the servant of the servant. Respect devotees. Serve devotees. Serve Guru. And serve with your heart. The whole thing is about heart. Never do it grudgingly. Krishna doesn't need anything. We should never do anything grudgingly. We should feel fortunate that we have the opportunity to serve, because then we're training this mind to be in a service mode to the devotees. Therefore, we will be able to fit in with the services that those in the spiritual world give to themselves, serving each other, and also serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We'll be ready then to go home. It's a fully surrendering situation, fully surrendering to the Lord. Any more comments? Thank you, Nitya Prabhupada. It was very nice. I'll have a few more.
The point that Nitya Gopal made is very nice, because the more we focus on our sadhana, the more it's going to clean our hearts. It completely goes back to the prayers by Lord Chaitanya, the Shishastakam, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It's all about, all the 8 prayers written by Lord Chaitanya is about sadhana, devotional process, devotional service, sadhana, Vaishnav etiquette, how to treat the devotees, how to take care of each other, how to, not be offensive, and how to be a straw on the street. It's all based on the sadhana. Yeah, I like his point, because the more we focus on our sadhana, the more it's going to bring us down to the das, anudas level, to make us really realize that we are the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. And interestingly, the Prabhupada didn't say das. He said das, anudas. So there are like 2-3 layers added to that servant of the Lord, not just servant. It's like servant of the servant and the servant of the Lord, So yeah, that's what's going to clean up the heart, because we are carrying so much crap, so much buildup from not just this lifetime, many, many lifetimes. So, and when Nitya Gopal was talking about sadhana, yeah, absolutely, because, if we read in the Shastakram prayers, right, by Lord Chaitanya, he talks about, when will my, tears will be flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. Is our sadhana, again, going back to our sadhana, is our sadhana to the level where we are always crying to the Lord, where are you? Looking for the Lord, where are you? Are we crying when we are going deeper in our sadhana? Are there tears flowing from our eyes like torrents of rain? It goes back to the sadhana. The very nice point, Nitya Gopal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Any more comments from the devotees? Okay, I have a few more takeaways that I'd like to share. Prabhupada gave Yamuna Charya as another example, saying, "My Lord, when shall I become constantly your servant?" So we have to think in the service mode the whole time. We are conducted, Prabhupada says, we are conducted by mental speculation. And those who are not Krishna conscious are anatha. They have no father, no mother, therefore no protection. The parents are the ones to protect. But we shouldn't be that. We should be sanata, not anatta. Sanata. I've got my protector. So in all respects, we should remain under the control of Krishna, and that's called Sanata Jivitam, the jiva that's under control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should always be taking shelter of Krishna. Then all happiness will come, liberation will come, mukti. So that was towards the end. He talked about Swarupena Vyavastiti. So when we are fully under the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, meaning being a servant of a servant of a servant, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then all happiness will come. And he says all happiness will be there without any endeavor. I'll even highlight it so it's right there. If we simply remain in all respects under the control of Krishna, fully under the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, then all happiness will be available without any endeavor. This will definitely happen in our lives if we make ourselves servants of the servants of the servant, assist devotees, and also just open up to serve, be excited to serve. Then Krishna takes over our lives. And so many directions are given materially in our lives. Even that happens. Even materially it happens. Krishna takes control of our lives. We are under his shelter, and then things happen everywhere we go. We're going to begin to see that things are unfolding based on what is actually good for us all of the time. Reminders, and so many things happen. So many things happen. Protection in many, many, many ways. So it's a question of just surrendering to the Lord, being under his lotus feet, being a servant of a servant. Then we're going to be happy. Happiness comes without any endeavor. Every day, this is daily affair. Every day you're going to see a difference in your life. It is very, 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 very true. It's just a question of trying it. So yeah, chant. We should chant 16 rounds minimum. Chant with attention. And through that, and of course, hearing constantly, hearing regularly, Srila Prabhupada will definitely get us to disconnect from material energy and use only what is necessary for our lives and aspire to go back to Godhead by first being the servant of a servant of a servant. And then, even here in the material world, we'll be under the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as he said, the last line, when we think, my business, my only business is to carry out his order. That is an eternal servant of the Lord. My only business is to carry out his order. And that already a person that thinks that way is liberated, even while being in this material world. When they leave the body, they're going back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Any last comments? Okay, thank you very much for coming on to this lecture. It always helps us to grow spiritually when we hear Srila Prabhupada and hear other lectures based on what Srila Prabhupada has written in his books. So have a wonderful day. It's the midweek now, the rest of your week to be wonderful, Krishna conscious type of week. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhve evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Priti Mataji. Hare Krishna. Glory to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.